Right, well, good evening. This is Dr. William Painter for the Song and Sermon. And I think I found a really nice song to sing for this evening or morning, whatever time it is. Because I've been reflecting on this year, what this year's been like for me and for everybody. I'm not trying to complain here or anything, but it's been kind of a tough year. And I can't remember a time when I've lost so many dear ones and known so many people who've lost dear ones. And then I read the passage for today. The gospel reading talks about Jesus being in a crowd of people. They seemed like sheep without a shepherd, and they followed him and were desperate for something. And it made me wonder. What were they thinking? What were they feeling? Why would they go and seek out this man and sit outside and listen to his teachings? I mean, there were prophets all over the place. There was a crossroads, all kinds of religions out there. So why would these people knowingly, they had a whole infrastructure, rabbinical hierarchies and so on. Why follow this guy? And I think this song kind of embodies it. It's a song that is performed by John Prine. It is, let me open this tab, yeah. It was originally produced by Blaze Foley, who passed away in 1989. And I heard it, I just loved it. And I thought, yeah, maybe this is who these people were. This is what they were thinking and feeling. So anyway, here we go. I'm going down to the Greyhound station, gonna buy a ticket to ride. Gonna find that lady with 2 or 3 kids and sit down by her side. Ride till the sun comes up and down around me about 2 or 3 times. Smoking cigarettes in the last seat. Sing my song for the people I meet and get along with it all. Where the people say y'all, sing a song with a friend, change the shape that I'm in, and get back in the game and start playing again. I'd like to stay, but I might have to go start over again. Might go back down to Texas, might go somewhere that I've never been. And get up in the morning and go out at night, I won't have to go home. Get used to being alone. Change the words to the song and start singing again. Running around looking for answers to questions I already know. I could build me a castle of memories just to have somewhere to go. Count the days and the nights that it takes to get back in the saddle again. Feed the pigeons some clay, turn the night into day, and start talking again when I know what to say. I'm going down to the Greyhound station, gonna buy me a ticket to ride. Gonna find that lady with 2 or 3 kids and sit down by her side. I'm gonna ride till the sun comes up and down around me about 2 or 3 times. Smoking cigarettes in the last seat. Sing my song for the people I meet and get along with it all. Well, the people say y'all, feed the pigeons some clay turn the night into day, and start talking again when I know what to say. It wasn't half bad. It wasn't half bad. So after the break, which may actually be a couple of days, I'll come back dressed completely differently and do a discussion of the literature passage for this week. God bless, and see you after the jump. Okay, hello again. Dr. William Painter here in what I think I'm going to call the Seedy Hotel episode. As you can see, the Penguin and I have hit the road, and he wanted pizza tonight, so I had to go find a pizza place for him. I think he's only half conscious at this point. It's been a long traveling day, especially if you're a little penguin. Here on business, long day. I look disheveled. He's looking better than I do, and it's a stuffed animal. So we'll pick up where we left off on the song and the gospel. Let me start off by reading the gospel. I think it's always a good framework for us. This is going to be proper 11 for July 18th. And the passage comes from two selections of Mark, chapter 6, verses 30 to 34, and 30 to 34, and verses 53 to 56. Did you know the original Bible had no verses and chapters, that they broke it up like that, just sort of people to be easier for them to read, and now it's just confusing. All right, 6:30. The apostles gathered around Jesus and told him all they had done and taught. He said to them, "Come away to a deserted place all by yourselves and rest a while." For many were coming and going, and they had no leisure even to eat. And they went away in the boat to a deserted place by themselves. Now many saw them going and recognized them, and they hurried there on foot from all towns and arrived ahead of them. As he went ashore, he saw a great crowd, and he had compassion for them because they were like sheep without a shepherd, and he began to teach them many things. When they had crossed over, they came to land at Gennesaret and moored the boat. Then they got out of the boat. People at once recognized him and rushed about the whole region to bring the sick on mats to wherever they heard he was. And wherever he went, in the villages or cities or farms, they lay the sick in the marketplaces and begged him that they might touch even the fringe of his cloak, and all who touched it were healed. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that lovely passage? When I read these passages, and I know the Penguin will agree, I've said this before, I feel like we're an audience and a stage play is being performed for us. And if you're the director of that stage play, you have to ask yourself, well, what's the motivation of the people who are flocking to see Jesus? I mean, is it just that they're sick? They just don't have many sick people running around. He describes it. He describes them as sheep without a shepherd. And that shepherd, there's a couple of things I want to point out. Everything is rushed. I think the term immediately or at once is used 40 times in Mark. It is a hurried chapter and is on purpose to give a sense of urgency and importance. And so even here, I mean, just, the guys have been out, the apostles have been out spreading the good news, and they come back and this is what we did. And Jesus says, wow, you guys look really tired. Let's go take a little respite. And by the time they get there, there's another crowd of people. And then they take their sick and put them in the marketplaces. And so what would make these crowds throng to him? I think I may have mentioned it before. They had a clear rabbinical hierarchy
spiritual infrastructure, as it were. Herod was supposed to be doing it, and what had Herod done? But he had killed the man who heralded the coming of Jesus, and the people were leaderless. The people were leaderless. They were without a shepherd, and Jesus felt sorry for them. And then it's not just that he felt sorry for them, which little doubt that he did, but the revolutionary nature and the radical nature of Jesus and his teachings comes out right in these passages. Because you read that, oh, they brought him into the marketplaces. Well, the Greek word for that space is the agora. And the agora was a public space where politics, trials, public events, it was the public shared space for towns and villages, cities, and so on. And in the agora was where they set up shop. I mean, it's like, a farmer's market, right? A stall for this, a stall for that. And as a marketplace, people bought and sold goods. And so these public spaces were really like shopping malls for people with money. And so what do? They bring the sick in there. I mean, and put them right smack dab in the middle of the mall. And Jesus does that. He brings the sick people and puts them in the mall. And he says, this is what's important, not this buying and selling. And that message must have been so revolutionary and refreshing. That song that we I hope you sang along with me. That song I did poorly. I mean, when you listen to the words, it's about a fella, and he doesn't want to go anywhere. He just wants to go, and he wants to experience life. He wants to sit next to a lady with 2 or 3 kids. He wants to smoke cigarettes in the last seat, try to hide his sorrow from the people I meet. I mean, he's sad, and the sort of rhythm of the song is plodding with a sort of taste of hope. And as you go through it, you'd say, well, I'd like to stay, but I might have to go start over again. Maybe go back to Texas or someplace I've never been. And then I go out at night, and I don't even have to go home because I don't have a home. And this song ends up with them asking the question, I'll ride till the sun comes up and down about 2 or 3 times, feed the pigeons some clay, turn the night into day, and start talking again when I know what to say. And I think that kind of captures the sense of loss, the sense of being lost, of lacking a way, of not knowing where to go. I mean, haven't we felt that this past year? We have people wanting to get the sick people out of the agora and get them back to work. I mean, that was really the message. Then they brag about it. They brag that the sick came second and the business came first. And it couldn't be. And so you end up having a lot of really fundamentally unhappy people in despair. I don't mean everybody's wailing and rending their clothes, but I've seen things opening up in different areas. I'm out here in California right now, and it's very different here. Of course, it hit here much more severely than it hit where I'm from in the Midwest. And you can tell by people's attitudes. You can tell by the people. Everybody's going, it's so good. It's finally starting to wake up. I mean, this place was a ghost town a year ago. That kind of stuff. And they need guidance and support and help and healing in the marketplace. That's what they need. And when I watch what has become of the GOP and its inclinations towards fascism and con man and hatred and bigotry and all those kinds of things, because they don't have anything else to offer. That's all there's left. And people despair. They don't feel good. when they want to be hopeful. They want to start talking again when they know what to say. They want to get back in the game. So feed some clay pigeons, or maybe feed some pigeons clay, and go turn the night into day. Because that's what Jesus did. That's exactly what Jesus did. And he didn't care who he angered in the process. He did care about his flock, his sheep. All right, I am going to call it a day, ladies and gentlemen, from as far west as you can go and not get your feet wet. And I will be back in God's country, in case you wondered where God's country was. It's in the Midwest. I'm not going to say exactly where. I wouldn't want any strange religions, springing up around that. Anyway, take care. Be good to each other. God bless.